Hey Graham, it's Brandon. I hope I would be able to reach you, but I guess I'm not able to, so I know this is going to come as kind of a surprise, at least to you it isn't to me, but I killed someone today. I killed my girlfriend. Well, she's supposed to be my girlfriend, but she cheated on me, and I just...
Viewer discretion is advised for this educational documentary. Welcome back to Case Documentaries. I bring you true crime, disturbing stories and other things that you may later regret knowing with regular uploads every week. Please do join the quickly growing, incredibly supportive Dark Case family by hitting subscribe now and turning on notifications. Thank you so much to all of my patrons. If your name is on screen right now, then you're a legend. Our love and respect goes out to all those that knew and loved Bianca and all those affected by this dark case. Bianca Michelle Devins was born on October 2nd, 2001. Her mother Kim was young, having her at just 18 years old. But she was a great mother and she doted on Bianca. 2 short years later, Kim and Bianca's father Mike welcomed a second child, Olivia. Bianca and Olivia were thick as thieves throughout their childhood in Utica, New York. When their parents separated for the first time in 2010, the sisters grew even closer. Coinciding with this, at just 9 years old, Bianca began to display signs of separation anxiety. Having said that, she still remained somewhat extroverted and popular at school. No one could have known what she was battling behind closed doors. This was the first of many mental battles for Bianca. Around adolescence, Bianca started displaying signs of depression, but she would still open up to a select few people who shared her love of anime, art and manga. However, depression was a lingering element throughout middle school and high school. In 9th grade, Bianca had to transfer to a new school, the Thomas Proctor High School. This was much bigger than her previous school, and Bianca struggled to find her place among the 2,700 plus students. Bianca didn't fit into the popular girl archetype, with her style leaning more towards emo or alternative. Her struggles had progressed so far around this time that it was a major hurdle for her to even get to school in the morning at all. On some days, she would simply say, "I can't do it," and wouldn't go. On other days, she would manage to get to school, but would have to be sent home early. To make things even worse, she also became triggered by loud noises and shouting at certain times. This led to pretty frequent panic attacks. Midway through Bianca's sophomore year in 2017, Mother Kim pulled her out of public school and enrolled her in a homebound tutoring program. Now home for entire days at a time, Bianca retreated even further into the online world. She made multiple profiles on various social media platforms, each of them using differing personas. She had also amassed a few thousand followers between these accounts by this time. Due to her appearance, some of the community classified her as an e-girl. E-girls were to be girls that had an online presence and generally had an edgy persona and style. This is similar to the mid-2000s scene girls and the general emo trend. Just kind of think MySpace. She found solace in this online world while it felt like her real world was falling apart. In early 2018, Bianca was officially diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, otherwise known as BPD. She was moved to the St. Anne Institute, a residential placement facility. This was the best thing that could have happened to Bianca at that time. She found a counsellor that she liked. She began to understand herself, and now she started to fit in with other people at the facility. Bianca's mental state improved drastically. She moved back home in February 2019 and even returned to Proctor High School where she eventually graduated. She made plans to attend the local Mohawk Community College, only 15 minutes away from her family home. She wanted to major in psychology to help people through their own mental struggles. Bianca had many mental battles that she had overcome, and now she wanted to give people the tools to do the same thing. If she could make it out the other end, then so could they. Everything for Bianca was finally falling into place. This included her love life. In the spring of 2019, before graduating, Bianca met a man through Instagram. Shortly after, the pair connected on Discord, where they sent messages to one another and formed a friendship. This man's name was Brandon Clark. Brandon was a 21-year-old Lyft driver from the Syracuse area. This was roughly an hour away from Utica. Brandon had a rocky childhood, bouncing around in the foster care system, and he too struggled with mental health. He bonded with Bianca over their struggles, along with their love of gaming and anime. Bianca's mother approved of Brandon. She was originally apprehensive that she'd met him online, but Brandon impressed her. He was extremely polite and just seemed like a very nice guy. He would come over to the house regularly, and Bianca's family was happy knowing that she had someone to look out for her. He and Bianca did end up briefly dating, but later they agreed that their relationship would be open and non-exclusive. Bianca especially was still young, she didn't want to be tied down, and Brandon said that he understood this. She would rather just be friends, and Brandon was happy with this. All in all, they were back in a good place. On July the 13th, 2019, Bianca was going to a concert to see Nicole Dollanganger. She was an up-and-coming gothic folk singer. Bianca was attending the concert with Brandon, and the pair of them would be meeting a guy that Bianca had met online through Discord. This new guy was called Alex and was from Jersey City. Alex was older, but Brandon would be there, so no one was particularly worried. On that day, there was nothing untoward. At around 2:30 p.m, she hugged her mother and said, "I love you," and departed for the concert. She sent a text to her mother at 7:30 p.m, a non-eventful message about parking spaces at the concert. But little did her mother know, this would be the very last time that she would hear from her daughter. At 7 a.m. the next day, the family was awakened by a knock at the front door. It was the police, and they wanted to talk about Bianca. The previous day, Bianca and Brandon made it to the concert on time and in great spirits. Things were going great. Until, that is, they met Bianca's online friend, Alex. There, the whole mood shifted. Brandon could feel a change, and he didn't like it. He didn't want Alex there, and he definitely didn't want him near Bianca. Brandon went to the toilet, and on his return, he spotted Bianca and Alex kissing. This was too much for him to handle. He simply couldn't hide his disdain for the couple. As the concert was wrapping up, Bianca sent a text message to Alex that read, "I think he saw me kissing you." Bianca and Brandon then left the concert sometime after 10 p.m. Alex left in his own car and made his way home. The pair had a long drive back to Utica ahead of them, around 6 hours, but it would feel even longer with Brandon in a bad mood. While in the car, she sent Discord messages to a friend. She implied that Brandon saw her kiss Alex and that he was now angry. The two argued in the car about the nature of their relationship. Bianca reminded him that they had agreed not to have a monogamous relationship. This was no longer an exclusive thing, and therefore she could kiss whoever she wanted, as could he. She knew the argument was far from resolved, but she'd said everything she wanted to say. They could talk more in the morning. With that, she fell asleep in the back seat whilst Brandon drove. But as she slept, Brandon spiraled downwards into a very dark place. In fact, his mind went down a path darker than any of us could imagine. As they reached Bianca's hometown, Brandon parked his car on a dead-end road about 10 to 15 minutes from Bianca's home. He wasn't ready to take her home. Instead, he took to social media with a number of chilling posts. One of his posts read, "Here comes hell. It's redemption." Brandon grabbed his cell phone and set it up on the front of his dash. It was pointing at the back seat where Bianca was sleeping soundly. He then fished around in the back seat and came out with a large, sharp kitchen implement. He then hid this out of sight. Hitting record on his cell phone, he then woke her up. He now confronted her directly about the kiss earlier in the evening. Bianca admitted to it, which only angered Brandon more. It seemed that she just couldn't win in this situation. Bianca reminded him of their non-exclusive relationship. She asked if he was ready to now take her home. But sadly, he wasn't, and he never even planned to. Brandon launched a surprise attack on Bianca, grabbing the sharp implement and tearing into her throat. She struggled and fought back, but she couldn't hold him off. During this frenzied attack, her head was almost completely removed. A sick, frenzied attack that he filmed for his own amusement. Bianca simply couldn't escape her tragic fate. After she was no longer breathing, he left her in the back seat of the car and built a bonfire. If it was to burn the body, he never actually got around to it. After some time, he staged her body on a tarp whilst playing the song Test Drive by the artist Joji, a rapper and former internet personality. The song describes a failing relationship as the singer looks for something long-term while the girl isn't as invested. He then took photos of Bianca's body and posted them across social media. He posted one of her body with the caption, "I'm sorry Bianca," to Instagram, and another on Discord with the caption saying, "Sorry f***s, you're gonna have to find someone else to orbit." He then called numerous family members followed by the police to reveal his location.
To replay this message, press 4.
Hey Graham, it's Brandon. I hope I would be able to reach you, but I guess I'm not able to, so I know this is going to come as kind of a surprise, at least to you it isn't to me, but I killed someone today. I killed my girlfriend. Well, she's supposed to be my girlfriend, but she cheated on me, and I just...
In his call to the dispatcher, Clark said,
There's going to be there's a murder.
Okay. On Post Street, you said?
The end of Post Street, yes.
Okay. Very end of Post Street. Okay, what's your name?
My name is Brandon. The victim is Bianca Michelle Devins.
Yeah. What are you wearing?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, I just want to talk to you, okay?
Yeah, I know you want to. I know how your job works. You have to keep me on the line, but it's not happening, okay?
The police located Brandon and his vehicle on a dead-end road. Upon the arrival of law enforcement, Brandon tried to remove himself from the earth before collapsing onto the tarp that covered Bianca's body. Immediately upon hitting the tarp, he pulled out his cell phone. He then started taking various selfies of himself profusely. He posted one of these selfies to social media captioned, "Ashes to ashes." However, his attempt was unsuccessful. He was then wheeled away in an ambulance, and after being released, he was immediately arrested.
So why would you want to shake hands with the camera?
Well, Brandon, I'll tell you what, it's okay, take your time. You can ask me and I can ask you, but so you would like to talk to me then? Yes? Yes? No?
Sure.
I have to get through this and then we can have a full conversation.
In his booking photos, a scar can be seen on the side of his neck. Justice didn't come quickly for Bianca's family. Clark pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder on July 29, 2019, but he eventually changed his plea to guilty before going to trial. His sentencing was originally scheduled for April 2020, but the pandemic repeatedly pushed back the hearing. Brandon Clark was eventually sentenced on March 16, 2021. During the hearing, Brandon expressed remorse for his actions, claiming not to understand how he could have done something so evil. He said,
"For almost 2 years now, I've sat in my cell and I've wondered what I'm going to say when it finally comes time for me to speak to the people that I've hurt. And it's never been enough. It's never been adequate, I felt, to really convey my emotions and to apologize. How do you meaningfully apologize for doing something so horrible and so irreversible? And that's the worst part, is that I can't take it back. I want to. I wish I could. I would give my life in a heartbeat to Bianca if I could. And I can't. Every day I wake up and I wonder how she would have spent that day if she were still here. Every day I wish that I could do more than just wonder. And I hate myself for what I did to her. I don't know why. I don't understand how I could do something like that. I don't even know who I was that day, and it disgusts me. I remember when I first met Bianca, how much I adored her and how much I just wanted to spend time with her, and for that adoration to turn into something so evil, and it's like a nightmare. Every day I wish I could wake up and just have it not be real, have it not be me.
The evidence, however, showed that Clark was clearly a disturbed individual. Despite the argument that this was a crime of passion, he came prepared that night with a sharp kitchen implement. He had a checklist on his phone of what he had planned to do on the day of her death. This included changing his Instagram bio to display his date of death and posting the Fight Club quote, "This is your life and it's ending 1 minute at a time." His internet search history was also disturbing. He looked for things such as how to cut through the carotid artery, how to choke someone out, and how to incapacitate someone. He also had hundreds of photos of Bianca on his various devices. He checked on her social media daily. This was a man utterly fixated on a woman, completely obsessed, and he was enraged when she showed interest in someone that wasn't him. He was given a life sentence with a minimum of 25 years without parole.
Months pass and I'm still not processing it. Trying so hard to do anything that will keep my mind off the fact that my sister is gone. Distractions are only temporary though, so when reality set in, that is when I realized this is no longer a nightmare. This is my life.
Do you think the punishment fits the crime here? What do you think could be done to avoid something like this happening again in the future? Please do let me know down in the comments. Remember to hit like if you appreciate what I'm doing here. Be careful out there and I'll see you soon.